We have major injury news in the National Football League. My name is Jack Sperry, and you are watching NFL Daily. We got a couple of potential season-ending injuries to get training camp going already, unfortunately. But this is why you subscribe to the channel, guys. We got you covered with breaking news coverage. Every time there's an injury, every time that there is a move, every time there's a trade, we're going to have you covered here on NFL Daily. So do me a favor, kick things off today by clicking that subscribe button and turning on your notifications so you never miss any of our breaking news coverage. So now let's start with CJ Gardner-Johnson, one of the big free agency pickups for the Detroit Lions, went down today during today's practice at the start of Lions training camp with a non-contact leg injury, and he had to be carted off the field. The early presumption is that he is going to miss the entirety of the 2023 season. Now, it's still possible it comes out and it's still serious, but he might not miss the entire season. We don't know. It's not confirmed yet, I should say, that Gardner-Johnson is missing the entire year, but certainly not looking good at this point. And this is a major blow to Dan Campbell and that Lions defense that's really looking to improve after arguably being the worst unit on defense in 2023. All right, their defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, definitely had a tough time getting this unit to perform in 2022, constantly giving up yards, missed assignments left and right. They want to play a tough brand of football where they're doing lots of bump and run coverage, press coverage. They want to be physical, but they just didn't have the talent to run that kind of system last year, and it just led to a lot of bad things on that side of the football. CJ Gardner-Johnson was supposed to be that hybrid type player in their secondary that can play in the slot, that can play at safety, that can play a hybrid linebacker role in their nickel sets. He was supposed to be really an X factor in this defense this year, and now you're losing him likely for the entire season. So it's looking like Aaron Glenn is going to have to make a major adjustment here heading into the 2023 season. Could they add a free agent here, maybe like a Bryce Callahan to fill the cornerback slot? I think that's certainly possible at this point. But if this is a season-ending injury for CJ Gardner-Johnson, the Lions defense just lost a major piece to that side of the football. So now wish CJ a speedy recovery for me down there, and by liking today's, or type 2 down in the comments section to wish CJ a speedy recovery. We really hope that he can get on the field at some point this year, but certainly not looking good at this point, and we're wishing him the best. And speaking of season-ending injuries, we have another one in the National Football League, and that is Bills running back Nyheim Hines. Now, this is kind of a weird injury because apparently he was jet skiing and he was stationary. He was like sitting in the water, and somebody ran into his knee, and now it's going to lead to a season-ending knee injury for Nyheim Hines, somebody that was traded at the trade deadline in 2022 from the Indianapolis Colts to the Buffalo Bills. He was supposed to play a pretty key role as kind of a receiving back for the Buffalo Bills this season. It's looking like he is going to miss the entirety of 2023, and we certainly hope that he can come back and play because, I mean, if a jet ski hit my leg, I mean, that seems like a pretty serious injury. I hope that Hines can come back and still have a pretty solid career in this league. And now the question remains, will the Bills replace him with another running back via trade or via free agency? And the answer to that is I don't think so. Right, you got Latavius Murray, you got Damian Harris in free agency. The Bills really made a point of addressing this need during the offseason this year, and I think they did a pretty good job. Not to mention Josh Allen is a very effective runner himself as the quarterback, so I don't really think that Buffalo needs to make this kind of move. And then when it comes to a true receiving back, I think James Cook is a pretty decent option, second-year player, really explosive as a receiver, pretty darn good player. So I don't think that they need to really sign somebody right here, despite the fact that Nyheim was supposed to be a pretty decent player for them this season. Now, we got some more NFL news to cover for you guys here on NFL Daily. But first, if you need a new lucky hat for your favorite NFL team this season, our friends at Fanatics got you covered, man. They got a great selection of different styles, different types of bills. If you're a flat bill guy, they got you covered. If you're a curved bill guy, they got you covered. If you like snapbacks, they got that as well. They have a bunch of different designs, so you can pick your favorite. Go to chatsports.com/NFL hats. That's our link. If you use that link, fanatics will know that we sent you. Really do appreciate all the support. And now Josh Jacobs is once again in the news cycle where he has been seen now leaving the Las Vegas airport, and he's told people close to him that he doesn't expect to be back in Las Vegas for a very long time, or I think the exact quote was anytime soon, which definitely does not bode well for Las Vegas and their fans. And I'm looking at Josh Jacobs, somebody that was incredible in 2022. He definitely wanted to get paid going into this season. He was in a contract year last year, and he really balled out. He wanted to get paid, and it didn't happen. And it just seems like he is pissed off about this. And I can totally see why. It definitely seems like the running backs across the league feel undervalued, and Jacobs is certainly somebody in that conversation. Now, the big question for Josh Jacobs in this entire saga that is unfolding in the desert there in Las Vegas is how far is he willing to take this? Is he just going to sit out training camp and then show up for week one? Is he going to sit out a couple of games to really make the Raiders feel that pain? Or could he even sit out an entire season the way that Le'Veon Bell did with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2018? Now, I don't think that that works out very well for players when they sit out an entire season. I think that's really, really hard, especially for running backs to come back and be the same player that they once were. So I think if Jacobs is smart here, he's going to play this season, he's going to ball out, and then he's going to get paid next offseason when maybe the NFL makes a couple of changes to their rules when it comes to paying running backs, because that's something that they're considering right now. I think it's an interesting conversation, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see what Jacobs does here. But let me know what you guys think about Jacobs down there in the comments section. Is he going to be playing for the Las Vegas Raiders by week one of this season? Give me a yes or give me a no. Let me know how you're feeling about the Raiders running back down there in the comments section. Now, speaking of the Raiders, some good news now. Their quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, has passed his physical and is going to be a full participant in Raiders training camp, and he should be ready to go for that week one matchup of this season. I am super intrigued to see what Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look like outside of Kyle Shanahan's offense, which last year his expected completion percentage was first in the National Football League at 70%. I wonder what that's going to look like in Josh McDaniels' system. It is a completely different system. He's played in it before, so he should be pretty familiar with it. But then another big question with Jimmy is he going to be able to stay healthy? I mean, this guy just can't stay on the field, and that is definitely a major concern for Raiders fans, because you got Aiden O'Connell as your backup quarterback, and if you have to go to that guy, in my opinion at least, your offense is going to be in big trouble, and your defense is already just not going to be very good as it is. So you're really hoping that Jimmy Garoppolo, A, stays healthy, and B, plays well. And, you know, they've got a pretty decent offensive line. You got Devontae Adams. You got some nice receiving weapons there in Las Vegas, so it's not completely unfeasible that the Raiders could find at least a little bit of success this year. But right now, Vegas has their over-under win total at 6.5 wins. Let me know how you're feeling about the Raiders down there in the comments section. Will they be over or under that 6.5 number? Let me know in the comments section by typing O if you think over, or type U if you think under. And my take on that is that I think it's going to be under. I'm not a big believer in the Las Vegas Raiders this season. I'm not a big believer in Jimmy Garoppolo specifically, A, because I think he's actually a little bit overrated because he's been in Shanahan's elite scheme here over the last several years, and he still wasn't really an elite quarterback in that scheme. And then also I think the defense is going to be just terrible this year once again, unfortunately for Raiders fans. And then also I don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo to stay on the field, and I think Aiden O'Connell might be the worst starting quarterback in the league if he ends up playing this year. So I'm going to take the under for the Las Vegas Raiders here in 2023. That's going to be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all of the support. For more breaking news action when it hits during this preseason, make sure you click that subscribe button for me right now and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing throughout the preseason, throughout the season, throughout the offseason, throughout the year. We got you covered here on NFL Daily. And if you want some more NFL content from me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me at Jack_Sperry. Really do appreciate all the support, guys. I will see you guys later. Peace.